Right. Last class, we have chance to understand very important chapter that is known as slowly changing dimension to version control and slowly changing dimension to version plus flag, both how to control it, how to extend the table. We have chance to understand it, and also using the wizards, whatever we did the manual process, the same thing I can go and I can achieve using the wizards. I can use and I can achieve it. Next, we went for slowly changing dimension 3. There also we have chance to see it. So you have chance to understand these are the activities actually. One is main important one that is called as SCD1. Then SCD2 flag control we have chance to understand. Then SCD2, then version control we understood. Then I gave exercise to you people, try to achieve this combination, that is flag and version, both you have to do it. Then SCD3 we have chance to understand yesterday. These are the things related to the SCD. We did the exercises. These are the things we did related to the SCD. We did the exercises. Now let us go and try to understand next one, that is called as source qualifier transformation. Source qualifier transformation. What exactly this is doing here? And we used this one couple of times before itself when we are doing the activity. That activity is called as, we did a activity that is known as dense rank activity. We did dense rank transformation directly not available in our Informatica. That one we achieved. That one we achieved by taking help of the source qualifier override. Source qualifier override. Now we did one more point, one more thing also we did, that is called as incremental aggregation. I think for you it is I did that one last. I organized here. Okay, incremental aggregation also one other thing that also we are going to do using SQL override. Okay, so some of things which are directly not possible, some of things which are directly not possible in the level of Informatica transformations, those things you can achieve by using source qualifier override. For example, dense rank is not possible directly using the transformations, so we went for source qualifier override and we achieved it. And the source qualifier override we also did in case of like joins. In case of joins, homogeneous joins, if you want to do it, we can go and we can use the source qualifier override. I can say the source qualifier override is very important. Most of the cases we are going to use this one. Most of the cases we are going to use this one. Let us go and try to see this simple exercise. It is a by default transformation with relational source or flat file. It is useful to create homogeneous inner joins and outer joins. We can write custom SQLs known as SQL override. Whatever custom SQL we are writing, that only we are calling it as SQL override. It supports sorting, distinct, free SQL, post SQL, parameters, filters, whatever you want to write over there, you can go and you can write it. Okay, for this exercise is very simple. We are trying to do here first one, create a target table and import into Informatica as a target. This is what the code whatever available corresponding to that one. Okay, we are trying to create the table emp underscore dept. Okay, this is what the code is available. Let's try to do this one. I am giving control to someone. Yes, I am giving control to you. I give the control. Please try to complete the first point. For this you require SQL developer. I am also opening the SQL developer. Try to copy the first point SQL. We are trying to create a table with the name of emp underscore dept. This one we have to execute in the target schema. 029 TDBU. Okay, try to paste it. Right, table created. This table import as a target. Excellent. Now, what is the table name? EMP underscore DPT is our table name. Then okay. So we created now required table. We created now required table we created. Now create a mapping with the name of m underscore source qualifier override. Can give the name as m underscore source qualifier override. Go on, try to create the mapping. Create the mapping. Source qualifier underscore override. That better we can write the name in a meaningful way. Underscore override. Then source qualifier override that meaning. Okay. Drag and drop source and targets. Now target. Right. Delete any one source qualifier. Two source qualifiers we received. We can delete any one source qualifier. Perfect. Now delete any one thing we deleted source qualifier. Then drag and drop all the things into here. Connect dname salary from source qualifier transformation to target table. We are trying to connect like this. Double click on source qualifier, click on properties tab, click on SQL query down arrow mark. Then try to do clear. Try to connect it. We're connecting dname and salary. We're connecting. salary. Excellent. Now double click on that one, source qualifier, then go to the properties, then SQL query opposite whatever we have dropped down. Here we have to write your SQL query whatever we have in things. So in SQL editor window, provide below information. Okay, here we are trying to generate the SQL query whatever available, we are trying to generate it. We are trying to generate the required SQL query, we are trying to generate it. Then modify the SQL as shown below. We are trying to add here sum, we are trying to add it, and again we are trying to rename that as salary. Okay, and group by we are adding here that one. This is the by default SQL whatever available. This is our custom SQL. This is our custom SQL. The custom SQL is known as override SQL. Custom SQL if I say, or override SQL if I say, both are one and same. Try to do that one. Go to designer, then generate the SQL. There whatever we have the emp.salary, sum of emp.salary as salary, then group by department name, then OK. Okay, it is not handled here. If you want to give a correct way, you need not require is all columns not required, right? Whatever really you want as output, okay, only those columns can keep it, remaining things can delete it. I mean to say, employee number really it is not required to you, so you can go on again delete here. Okay, employee name not required, job not required, MGR not required, hire date not required, salary required, then commission not required, department number also not required, then department number 1 not required, then location not required. Okay, then try to now go for the OK. Okay, this was the simple one whatever available. This was the simple one whatever available. Now you can see here it is showing as valid. Now go to the workflow manager. Then workflows menu bar, create WF underscore SQL override. Then OK. Introduce the session task. Introduce the session task. Then try to connect these two things. Then connect it. Go to the mapping menu. Provide the connections. That's right. The target connection you have to provide. OK. Again OK. Now connect these two things. Right. Now save it and try to run it. Save it and try to run it. Save it and try to run it. Okay, now you can see it will be running and will be successfully passing also. Just go and try to observe your status. Just observe your status. So now you can observe here 3 records we got into the target, 3 records extracted using the group by function. If you go and observe here this target table data, then tables, then we have here emp underscore dep is our table. There go to the data, Let's go to the data. Then you're able to see the data properly. Accounting, sales, sets like that. Now, next question is, for example, let us say here we have the designer, right? Is it mandatory to take the DPT table into the work area as you're using the DNAME here? Or without that also I can manage it? My question is clear or not clear? Is it mandatory to take the DPT or not required? Whatever columns I am using here in the source qualifier query, whatever columns I am using in the source qualifier query, those all columns should be available in our work area or not required to be available in the work area? Answer is not required. Answer is not required. Even though the corresponding thing is not available also, happily I can go and I can do that one. For example, delete this DPT whatever available, we'll try to modify the existing one. Delete the DPT whatever available. Okay, excellent. Now see here we deleted that one, right? I am trying to connect here as a temporary basis. I am connecting DNAME with the ename I am connecting. I know that it is a wrong mapping. I know that it is a wrong mapping. Wrong mapping or not? But really, whatever you connect here, it doesn't matter actually. Because even though you connect here salary only we are passing here, or we are passing the department wise salary are passing. Department wise salary are passing. What you connected here doesn't matter. What you connected here doesn't matter. What output is coming from the source qualifier query? What output is coming from the source qualifier query? That is what matter. What we are connecting from the source, it doesn't matter. What we are getting from the source qualifier query, that is what the matter. So what I will do is here. So you given the organizing the columns we given, like first DNAME we given, then we given the salary we given. Salary we given, right? So let us go and try to take like that. Now click on OK. If you want to validate, you can validate. I forgot to tell that one. If you want to validate, you can validate. RR capital text small 1 2 3. Provide the password first. Then validate. Now no errors detected. Okay. Okay. Then okay. Right. Save it. Save it. Now go to the workflow side and try to refresh the mapping. And also double click on the session task. Truncate target table option, try to enable it. Truncate target table option, try to enable it. Okay, excellent job. Okay. Now save this one and try to run this one. Still we should get the same data and dash to successfully run. Let us see it. Start workflow from task. Then if you go to the monitor, there it's showing what? Running and succeeded. So overall what I want to say, if you go for backend database here, refresh, then also we are going to get the same data we are getting here. That means whatever query you are using here, the query corresponding table should be available in the database, not ever in Informatica work area. DB table not at all available here, but still it is okay. It is able to manage it. Okay, all our source, whatever tables are using in the SQL query need not be there in the work area. If you have the query, SQL query with 10 tables, go and write the SQL query with 10 tables here. No issues. Only one table only you can take here, and you can dummy mapping, you can do it. We have to do the dummy mapping. That means input arrow marks. Here already we knows the one point, right? Input arrow marks is equal to number of columns in the SQL query Number of columns in the SQL query is equal to number of columns in the output must be same. Number of input, number of SQL, number of output must be same. That is one point already we are aware of it. And we also aware of it. The second point is the order of the SQL query, order of SQL columns should be equal to the order of ports in the SQL source qualifier override. The source qualifier override. So these ports, whatever order is available, same way these ports should be available. That also already you are aware of it. Now if you want to provide any wantedly user defined filter, you want to provide something like that, then you can go and use here source filter. Suppose if you want to put here DEP number is equal to 10. If you put like that, what will happen is that will be added to here. If I go for the generate SQL, that is automatically it is adding. But one point what I want to say is, whenever you are writing your source qualifier override, instead of putting these all things here, directly if you want to really put the filter only, then directly you can go here and you can put here itself, right? Directly put here itself. Don't add again property, this property. Even joins also similar way. Okay, and sorting ports. We want to sort the ports. Which is the port you want to sort it? What is the position of the port? You can go and you can select here. Next, tracing level is something to the log, and if you want distinct values, you can select the distinct. In fact, this also you can go and you can add here distinct keyword. You can add it. Free SQL, post SQL is before reading anything you want to execute it, then you have to go for free SQL. After reading, if you want to do anything, then you have to go for post SQL. Okay, these are some of the properties that are available. Let us go and try to observe some of the use cases which is used using source qualifier override. For that, let us go for OBIA 7964 work. I am trying to disconnect. I am disconnecting from your repository. Let's try to connect to the OBIA 7964. Connect. Provide the password. Right. Now go for bottom. SILOS is available, or you read self, even SILOS is not required. One moment. Okay, go for it, no problem. SILOS. The best use case is always source qualifier override. Functionalities which are not supported by Informatica directly, those things we are going to do it. Second is homogeneous joins. In these two cases, more frequently we are going to use source qualifier override. What happened? It's taking longer time. Okay. Now it is came here. Now if you go and try to observe here, we have here something as source qualifier. If I double click on this one, then go and try to observe here. Go and try to observe here. There we have the properties. Then we can observe the select query scheme something. Select this column, blah blah. We are trying to select a number of things we are trying to select here. Okay. And we are also giving some alias names we are giving here. And once we selected these all columns we selected. And we are using a subqueries also. If you want to use it, you can use it. Left outer join, if you want to use, you can use it here. Okay. and we are trying to use again left outer join, again sub queries, inline queries, whatever you want, whatever possible basically in the SQL query, whatever possible basically in the SQL query, those all things we are trying to do here. Those all things we are trying to do here. Getting my point? Okay, right. So you can write here one use case is we are writing here one use case, that is when we will go for the source qualifier override in case of homogeneous homogeneous joins. If we want to do, we'll go for this one. Homogeneous joins, if we want to do, we can go for this one. That may be inner join, that may be inner join, that may be outer join. We are least bother, we are able to do that one inside this. That may be inner join or that may be outer join, we are able to do it. Okay, that is the one use case. That is the one use case. Okay, now second use case. Second use case. Just observe it and try to see it. For example, now I am trying to go for here and observe here. There are some subqueries are available, right? If you want to write here some subquery or inline queries, correlated queries, etc. Anything if you want to write it, you can go and you can write here. Okay. Next, number three. Suppose database side any one function is available. If you want to call database functions, we can call here only, we can call it database functions. So generally, I hope you are aware of it, how to call the database functions, right? Database functions, how to call it, we are aware of it. If I go to the Google, then Oracle database functions syntax. Now if you go and observe here, let us say one of the thing is available, open link in new tab. Then what it is trying to do, it is trying to create here one function. That function is known as find the course. The find the course function we are calling here using where? In the select statement we are calling. Similar kind of select statement if you want to write here, you can go and you can write it and you can call that one. Next, number four. Transformations not available for particular functionality. Example, dense rank. That's what one thing what we did it. Okay, that kind of case also we are going to use that one. Number 5. If you want to pass even your mapping parameters, here you can go and you can pass it. For example, you want to do the incremental loading, you want to do it. You have to do what? Incremental loading, we have to do it by seeing the condition as what? Transaction date greater than last load date. Okay, incremental loading by passing mapping parameters or parameters. By passing parameters, this one whatever available, this one we are going to pass here, parameter we are going to pass it. Okay, let us go and try to observe that one. Let us say I am going for cancel. Then let me take here one of the mapping. Let me disconnect this one. HDE Vora R12 adapter. Okay, let us open this one. Now go and try to observe your mappings. Now this is what some mapping is available called as employee dimension. From employee dimension respective, we are taking the data from these are the tables. So many tables are available. One is called as assignments table, then people's table, then lookups table, steps table, and number of tables. If I go on, if I try to double click on this one, then properties. Here we can observe the source qualifier override. We are getting the data from these all things. We are even writing here some case when statements also we are writing it, and we are calculating some of the columns we are calculating here. Once we calculated these all things, at the last if you go and observe, I am doing here incremental loading. So we are trying to say as creation date in the table called as P should be greater than last extracted date. Creation date should be greater than last extracted date. Even last update date should be greater than last extracted date. That means you may have here creation date we are validating means what we are trying to capture here. New records we are trying to capture. We are trying to capture here based on the last update date. Those things means we are trying to capture what here? Change records we are trying to capture. New records and change records both we are trying to capture here. Getting my point? Now that's what the use case of here. We can pass the parameters or variables you can pass here. If you go and observe here mapping menu map here parameters and variables, you can see here we have here last extracted date we used as a parameter. Whatever last extracted parameter is available, that parameter only we passed in the SQL query, we passed it. SQL query we passed it. Getting my point? Okay, in the variables here you can observe what are the parameters are available. You can observe wherever you want, you can drag and drop and you can use it. Okay, that's fine. That's what the one more use case, whatever available. Yes, these are the things in interview. Anyone ask a question, what is the use of the source qualifier override? You can go and you can answer. These all points you can answer it. Anyone ask a question, what is the use of source qualifier override? You can go and you can say these all things. Okay, I can say let us say 100 mappings are developing. 100 mappings are developing. Out of 100 mappings, 80 mappings will have the source qualifier override. 80 mappings will have the source qualifier override. Then 20 mappings may be it is straightforward without source qualifier override is available. So that is the reason only ETL people need to be strong towards the SQL, because we saw the SQL, right? The SQL is somewhat big SQLs only, right? Those things if you want to write your own, then you should be strong with SQL. Okay, right. With this I completed source qualifier override. Let us move on to the next one. Next is available that is called as union transformation. Union transformation. Right. This union transformation very easy task. What we are trying to do is let us say two different types of data are available. Those things are going to combine here. For example, we are trying to see here one table is available which contains only 10 and 20 data. We created this one inside the source database we created. And we are trying to create here one more thing in the source database we are trying to create it. And we are creating here one target table in the target database we are creating it. Then now import the above two sources and one target table here. Now two sources are available. One contains 10, 20 data and 20, 30 data respectively. Then those two things I am trying to load into the EMP 10, 20, 30. For this we are trying to use here union transformation. We are going to use it m_union, and we are trying to introduce here union transformation we introduced, and whatever required steps are available, those steps we are doing, and we are moving that to the target we are moving as shown here diagram. Now create and run the workflow as shown. Notice that we got result with duplicates and union transformation working as what? Union all set operator. What is the meaning? We come to understand shortly. Let's go and try to do this first point onwards. Yes. those two sources we are trying to import. Actually, I don't have the data corresponding to the source. That is the reason I created these two tables. Right. Then go and try to next point. Go and try to introduce the union transformation. Right. Now double click on this union transformation. Then go to the groups tab. How many groups are available? Two groups. One is EMP 1020. Second is EMP 2030. We are creating the two groups. We are creating it. Then EMP 2030. Now go to the port tab. So how many columns you want for this one? That many columns we are going to create here. Create a port. Group ports are available. Group ports, sorry, not the ports. Group ports. Group ports. Yeah, create the two ports. T bit number is a one port, and salary is a one port. Both the data types are decimals. Then okay. Perfect. Now go and try to pass the from source qualifier 1 to, I mean to say source qualifier MP 1020 to 1020 and 2030 to 2030. Here we have multiple inputs and one output. It seems to be somewhat property wise. I mean to say property wise. Router, right? Router is what is doing? One input, multiple outputs. This is multiple inputs and one output. Just it is opposite property, right? Okay, right. Now go and try to connect here respective things. Connect the day, bit number, and salary. Perfect. Now go and try to observe your total work, whatever we did it. So arrange all iconic. This is what the whatever work we did. This is the main activity whatever happening here. EMP 10, 20, 30. 10, 20 we are getting the input, 20, 30 we are getting the output, and these two things we are trying to push into here. And there is no other properties also available here to observe it. Okay, properties, these are the properties are available. Okay, next, then go for the groups or group ports. These are the two things what we configured. We configured groups and group ports we configured. Then click on OK. Then save it. Now go and try to create the workflow, run it and observe the output. Enable truncate target table option also we are going to do multiple times this one. Okay. Try to connect these two things. Then run it. Now you can observe here it is running. Okay, both are running succeeded. Now if you go and observe in the back end this table data, target table data, I am going for the target table that is known as EMP union 10, 20, 30. In this one, see we given here what we given union we given, right? Union we given. Union means what is the meaning? Let us say let us go and try to do that one. Suppose we are writing a skill. Please write the skill query. Select DEPT number, comma, salary, comma, salary from EMP 1020 union. Then select DEPT number, comma, salary from EMP 2030. Execute it. Then observe here how many records we got here. Let us say right click and go for count rows. How many records are there? 12 rows. But here ideally we are expecting 12 rows only we are expecting, but how many records we got? 19 rows we got. The reason is 20 department whatever available here, that is common one and it is repeated here. 20 is a common one and it is repeated here. 22975, 22975 like this is repeated. Suppose if you go and try to replace here union with the union all, what is happening? We'll try to observe all and try to execute that one. Then if we try to understand this result, count rows, how many rows are there? 19. That means in Informatica, whatever we have the union transformation, working like what? Union-all operator. Working like what? Union-all operator. What is the conclusion? If you go and try to see here, notice that we got result with duplicates, hence union transformation working as what? Union all set operator. Generally, union will not provide in the SQL side any duplicates. Union all will provide the duplicates. So union transformation of the Informatica is working as a union all. Union all. Okay, fine, that's clear. Now next one. Exercise 1. Get the union result of above sources using source qualifier. Okay, now copy above mapping with the name of m underscore union underscore SQL override. Delete union transformation EMP 2030 source and source qualifier. Connect source qualifier of the target as shown here. We are trying to connect like this. Then we are giving here query, we are giving save it, create workflow and run it. Try to do this one. Yes. Copy as above mapping. Try to do this copy as. And we are giving here m underscore union underscore SQL override. Then delete the whatever I suggested to delete it. One is union, I asked to delete it. Only union I asked, or some other things also I asked. Even I asked something else. EMP 2030 I don't want it. The corresponding source qualifier also I don't want it. Delete it. Now we delete it. Now go and try to connect the source qualifier to this one. We can connect it directly. Connect it. Debit number, comma, salary. Now, actual part, now it is going to start. We have to change the source qualifier query, we have to change it. So connect source qualifier to target, that third point is completed. Fourth point, double click on the source qualifier, go to the properties, click on SQL query, down arrow mark, provide below SQL query, click on validate, click on OK, again OK. Try to do this SQL query. Excellent. Now validate first. Query should return exactly two fields to match the fields projected from the source qualifier. How many fields is writing? Okay. Debit number, you have to provide that. Okay. Now click on OK. Now OK. Then save it. Then correspond to this one. We completed now the point number. This one, fourth point. Fifth is save it. Create the workflow and run it. Try to do it. Okay, go and try to observe now output. Output in the EMP here, refresh it. Now you can observe we should expect here how many records? 12 rows we expected, that is what the union result. 12 rows only we got it. 12 rows only we got it. Suppose if I want to minus union all intersect this kind of data, you can do it or not. Exercise 2, get the minus result of above source qualifier using source qualifier override. Only thing is in above mapping we are trying to replace union with the minus. Then refresh the mapping and we are going to get it. The next one intersect also we are going to do same way, and union all also if you want to do it same way we are going to do it. Union, intersection, minus union, all four set operators are going to handle here. Am I clear? So today we learned source qualifier override and union transformation, two things we learned. Tomorrow we'll go for the stored procedure transformation. Before I start this one, I'm expecting from you people refer any one database book open and try to read about what is stored procedure, how to create the stored procedure, and those are story you have to read it. Then I am going to explain you here. I am going to explain you here how to call the database stored procedure in Informatica and how to execute from the Informatica. I am going to explain. My job is to how to call that one of my job is, and what is stored procedure, how to create the stored procedure, those all things you have to learn database point of view from your side. Okay, by tomorrow I am expecting that one from you. Thank you. Bye bye. Tomorrow we'll meet.
Hello, sir. I have one question here.
Yes.
This union transformation works as union all operator. So
Sir.
there should be the union transformation works as union all operator, correct? So there should be some way that it acts as a union operator. I mean, can't we modify our query in that way?
Transformation work as a union all I said. That's okay. What is your question?
I mean, what if I have to use it as union operator only? Cannot I modify my SQL query?
If you want to use only union operator, what you have to do, right? Right?
Correct.
That's what the solution, right?
Yeah.
That's what we have here. Source qualifier override.
Yeah, I mean, without going for source qualifier,
No,
even if
there is
I...
no other possibility. There is no other possibility.
Okay. Okay,
You
okay.
have to go.
Fine.
The possibility is you have to go for the source qualifier override.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay. Right. That's what. Something which is not possible in Informatica, if you want to achieve it, the final solution, final our God is source qualifier override. We can write everything in the SQL query and we can achieve it.
Okay,
Because end
fine.
of the day, tools, right? These all are even it may be Informatica, or it may be ODA, or it may be OBW. These all are tools. In the tools, we cannot expect all the functionalities. If we want, then we have to go for source qualifier overrides. We have to go.
Sir, I have one more question.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we in the normalization transformation, we converted like columns to rows, right?
That's right.
Can we do vice versa in the material? You said we
Yes.
can do.
Rows to columns also we can do it.
Uh, like I tried that one, but I didn't get how to do that one. Like, can you give some?
Sure. Some other class will try to discuss it. Okay.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Thank you. Tomorrow we have the class. As it is, class is there. Even though some small festival is going on, as it is, class is available. Okay, I will be at sharp your 6 o'clock. Okay, thank you.